Welcome to Laugh and Learn, where curiosity leads and laughter lifts. I'm Gerald, joined by Timy Raven, Linda de Gonzalez, and Maru. Today we're diving into Duality Pair number 5, the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune, where reflection meets movement and insight turns into manifestation. Join the conversation and share your light. I am honored that you all keep saying yes to joining me. Thank you for that.
Wouldn't dare say no.
Well, you can. You can
No.
try.
Pleasure to be here.
It's an option.
It is.
Duality Pairs, Laugh and Learn. We have Raven Tarot Meditation, Timy.
Hello.
Linda de Gonzalez.
Hello.
Hi there.
Madame Maru's House of Cards, Maru. I'm TarotStache. Thank you for being here. It's great to have everybody here. This is your reminder. This will not be your only reminder, but please like and subscribe to all of our channels. It is free. I heard this rumor that somebody, Maru, may be doing some more pop-up lives periodically. What's important is you go over to their channel, you subscribe, you ring the bell to make sure you get a subscription, notifications for all of her lives.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that fair? Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. Sounds great to me, too. This is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. We have good stuff planned for you all. You are going to realize I'm going to mention all of our channel links are listed below. Show your support. Also, ways of showing, ways that you can show support are listed there as well. I mean, dude, I'll take some donations. I'm not going to be doing anything naughty for donations. That's a whole different show. I may be easy. I am not cheap.
That's a different mustache show.
That is a whole different on that note, I did create a Duality Pairs playlist.
Ouch.
This is a lot of really good information. For people who are longtime tarot studiers and readers, people who are new to tarot, it's great to have you all joining us and be part of the conversation. All of this is Timy's fault. He's writing this book.
Yeah.
And
duality interpretation.
There you go. So with that in mind, duality, we're looking at 5th duality. I'm like jumping right in. Can you tell I'm jacked for this? I'm like going, Gerald got out and did his civic duty. He voted today. Nice. He's had a cup of coffee, had a bit of a walk. I've had more caffeine, and now I'm doing a show with the 3 of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're wound right up.
Very cool.
I am wound right up. Peace Love is here. Hypnicity. Pamela is here.
Hello, Pamela.
Oh, here you go. It's a gorgeous autumnal day here in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
That's nice.
Autumnal. Remind me to tell you why I make fun of that. It's a great word to say.
I love it.
Sounds great.
Autumnal. So, look at me. Now we're talking about pair number 5, which is the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune, which you are all looking at. You'll be seeing this here in a minute. And Gary for Grace has joined us. We've got them, we keep getting snorts.
Well, we say funny, snorty things.
And that's because my members have access to some original emojis and they are free to use them and sprinkle liberally throughout the conversations.
There you go.
Yep.
And that's
Okay.
play. She likes
One
to
of the
play.
favorite- Sorry?
That's play. She likes to play.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Oh, Pamela did borrow a thumbnail from my list. Yes. I actually, speaking of list, I have an interesting show I need to get scheduled. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am going to put this up and then I'm going to remove this because we're talking about the fifth duality, which is the world of manifestation. And there's two primary forces at play in the world of manifestation: the intellectual and the physical. This duality is powerfully represented by the Hermit and the Wheel of Fortune tarot cards, which symbolize two contrasting vocational energies. The Hermit, here on the right on your screen, embodies the intellectual work of manifestation. This is the quiet, solitary labor of introspection, research, and deep thought. This effort is essential groundwork for any creation. Conversely, the Wheel of Fortune represents the physical work of manifestation, the energy of action, momentum, and the tangible application of one's will. It's the luck and timing that comes from putting in the work. True manifestation requires both thoughtful planning and active execution. That being said, by the way, what I read is not on the screen. It's part of the forthcoming book by Timy Raven. What would you like to say about this duality, Timy? You're muted. By the way, Timmy's mouth backstage, we can see it's moving very quickly, and it's spewing vast amounts of wisdom that none of us could hear.
It was muted wisdom.
Muted. Oh, snap.
Yeah. So this is there's 10 dualities in the Marseille tarot that match up to the 10 Sephiroth on the Tree of Life. And the fifth duality, which I labeled the world of manifestation, is the 5 point. It's the middle point. And on the Tree of Life, it's all the way at the bottom. It's the foundation of the tree. And through my duality interpretation, we remember the first duality was receptive energy, which was the magician and the high priestess. That receptive energy is manifested in the fifth duality through the Hermit. The Hermit is the conduit through which all of your receptive energy manifests itself on Earth. And in my opinion, the Hermit card should be androgynous. It shouldn't be obviously male, because it needs to be the conduit for the high priestess and the magician, and all of the the receptive energy work that you're doing on the left-hand side of the tree, the relationships, motivations, and humility. Those receptive energies.
Do you want me to put the tree up?
Sure, we can put the tree up. So you see over the "you are here" in the middle. That's where we start. And then if you go to the left, there's your receptive energy side. And that's controlled by the magician and the high priestess. And when you manifest receptive energy here in reality on Earth, it comes through the Hermit card. That's the one side of the duality for the world of manifestation. All of the activity on the receptive side of the tree and the expressive side of the tree all ends up with manifestations in the real world. And that conduit is the Hermit on the receptive side, mm-hmm. and the Wheel of Fortune on the expressive side. And that was a refinement that I've only really thought of in the last 4 or 5 weeks. And it's a direct result of the discussions that we've been having here on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. that was a duality that I had as work originally, but I think it's more accurately described as manifestation. You know, you have your thoughts and then you start expressing your thoughts into actions, expressive energy actions. And within the structure of this tarot, within the structure of this duality interpretation of the Marseille Tarot, the conduit for manifestation, there's two sides. There's the Wheel of Fortune side, which is your expressive yang energy, comes through the Wheel of Fortune card, and the your receptive energy is manifested through the Hermit card, regardless of your biological gender. So again, it's still a duality where once you've manifested in the world, it's still a duality that needs balance. You need to balance your expressive side, the manifestations of your expressive side, with the manifestations of your intellectual side. If you spend too much time only being a hermit, only indulging in your receptive manifestations, then you neglect your expressive manifestations, and you have an imbalance there. You're not engaging in expressive energy. And for happiness, success, and health, you need to do an equal amount of both. And that's basically the synopsis of the duality itself.
I like that. We have a question. I'm hoping you can address this. Could you use receptive manifestation in a sentence, please?
Okay. I got hungry. I'm hungry right now, and I'm thinking about maybe making a sandwich. That's receptive energy. When I actually get around to making the sandwich, that's over on the expressive side, where I make the decision of what type of sandwich, and then I decide to assert myself and actually do it. So receptive manifestation is, maybe more specifically to your question, I think I see what you mean. Receptive manifestation, as illustrated by the Hermit, is your thoughts on earth, in reality, in your body. At that moment, you are symbolized by the Hermit. The manifestation of your inward focus, your inward thoughts, are manifested by the symbol of the Hermit. So I don't know if that answers the question. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Well, in the example you gave, that first point is awareness, right? That first point of, oh, I'm hungry.
Self-awareness, the left-hand side, the left-hand path. Yeah. It begins there, but the structure of the tree and the cards and the interpretation, I think, needed a duality where you manifest your spiritual energy on earth, in reality.
Basically, if you're thinking about creating something.
That's the Hermit card. Yeah, you're sitting there mulling things over.
You're manifesting in your mind.
Right. And the act, I think the act of writing that down in a book, your thoughts, like in a journal, I think then you're expressing maybe Wheel of Fortune energy. You're actually physically manifesting, something, implementing
thoughts.
Yeah. So it starts with your thoughts. That's the Hermit side. And then as you write it in the journal, that's the Wheel of Fortune side.
Yeah.
Sort of, but when you actually, I think it's more like,
well, if you're creating a book, then that would be your manifestation.
Yeah, or you're the Hermit
creating something else. That's still
that's
like the planning stages.
It's still
like if you're an architect designing a home, you're the Hermit when you're sitting there drawing it out and thinking of what the dimensions should be and all that. But then when it's actually handed over to a construction company, the architect is still involved, but now you're like hammers and nails, and that's the Wheel of Fortune side.
Yeah.
For me, this is thinking about this from it's the thought process. this is where I know somebody who does woodwork. What he does in his mind, he does it completely in his mind before he even puts pencil to paper. It's all up here. He understands it.
Yeah.
Then when there is a connection to actually the Wheel of Fortune energy, or the Wheel of Fortune manifestation, the expressive energy, he's already figured it out. It's just making it happen here in reality.
Yeah.
Right. And the Wheel of Fortune, one of the attributes of that is its unpredictability. It's life. When your friend would imagine the project that he wanted to create in his mind, when he actually starts implementing it, when he's in the Wheel of Fortune mode, there's chance involved. And that plan that he came up with in his mind might not fully work out. You might have to make some modifications. And that's one of the attributes of the Wheel of Fortune. I think that's the way it's illustrated, the way it is that it's you're making your best shot. You have a good idea, you have a plan in your head, and now you're implementing it. You're manifesting it in the world. But there's, the Wheel of Fortune is the Wheel of Fortune, exactly what it sounds like. You spin it and maybe you win sometimes, and then half the time you lose,
Well, I don't think it's
not necessarily half the time.
Yeah, I think half the time is like
that ambitious.
Well, if your plan is good enough,
if
your plan is good enough, then you may succeed more often than not.
I think the universe is a duality, and with lacking any other information, saying half and half is a good place to start.
I think one of the things that when I think about the Wheel of Fortune, looking just at tarot, there's an indication of the outcome in the name of the card, Wheel of Fortune. There's an opportunity, and I like how you, Timy, were talking about the internal work of manifestation, the intellectual work of the Hermit. The Hermit goes inward and thinks and contemplates and considers and evaluates. I'm a hermit in the tarot astrology, and studies. Yes. Yeah. Where the Wheel of Fortune, things start to happen. Yeah. When you're building a house, or I don't know, renovating a historic and connected healing center, I don't know, somewhere in Portugal, maybe. What happens with that, all of the planning cannot prepare you for
the eventualities.
Yes, the 2 months of rain, or when you're digging in, you suddenly hit a layer of rock or clay or something along those lines.
Price of lumber goes way up. You can't afford it anymore.
Valuable.
Yeah. What'd you say, Maru?
I said, or some kind of archaeologically valuable item.
Yeah.
Indian burial ground. Don't build a swimming pool there.
Well, in this specific case, it's built on a mountain, so chances of finding anything buried in the rock, well, fossils, yeah, probably, but it's granite. There's not usually fossils in granite. Anyway, I just find it really interesting, like the whole Wheel of Fortune, because I don't think it's all as there's an element of randomness to it, but remember that old saying, fortune favors the prepared?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have that saying right? Fortune, well, and the brave and the foolhardy, and I think the preparation is really, really important, because when fortune throws up those random things, like clay and archaeological finds, you have the hopefully knowledge from your preparation to be able to cope with that and pivot and deal with it. So I'm a big fan of, Pamela, I think that's absolutely right.
I think of the Wheel of Fortune as eternal circumstances over which we have little control.
Yeah.
external circumstances.
External circumstances over which we have little control. What happens, though, as you were saying, Linda, when those external circumstances show up, and Maru indicated, we've done the research, we've done the thinking, we have an opportunity to where I think we can pivot a lot faster.
Yeah.
We're much more confident.
Yeah, much more confident and pivot more quickly and be able to accept the reality. See, I think a lot of people have problems with like, well, no, this can't be happening. No, I did this and I did that. And no. We spend a lot of time in denial, you know, and not accepting the reality that's facing us instead of just saying, wow, okay, he doesn't love me after all. We just keep going because we don't know what else to do, or we can't imagine. I think that's it. We can't imagine. We can't fathom another way of approaching things. And that's where the Hermit can really help us, is because that's where we imagine. That's where we plan. That's where we go, what if, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F, however many, plan X, Y, Z, however many plans we need, we will absolutely not be able to tackle all of the potential wheel of fortunes that happen, but we can be in the mindset that there will be
challenges.
There will be challenges. There will be things that happen that we have not prepared for. And based on the preparations we've done for everything else, I think we have the capacity to overcome that, you know.
With this, Nalani says the wheel by nature is cylindrical. Sometimes you have to wait for it to turn.
Absolutely.
Opportunity may not. I also think when I'm reading the wheel for people, when you are more balanced and you are centered, when you are,
yes, you can turn when you're balanced.
When you are here, when you're toward the center, you're going to be less discombobulated than if you're out here.
That's right.
And that is where, yes, it turns, it upsets you less. It's easier to find your right. It's that idea of balance to me, which is part of
Gerald?
the duality.
Show that picture again, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you notice the handle on the wheel?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Who do you suppose is turning the handle?
I don't know. I never thought about that.
I freaking love you so much right now, Maruta. Yes.
As an AA guy, I would say the higher power is turning the wheel. Or you could say nature.
I would
Spirit.
say that's your hand on the wheel.
Yeah.
Or it could be your own, sure.
Yeah.
It's your higher power.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Maru.
See?
Yeah. And you know, it's a duality. So it's like the other 10 dualities. The suggestion is the balance point between the two. So when you're manifesting, split your energy between thinking about it and implementing it. You know, don't go right into implementing it without thinking about it at all. And conversely, don't just think about it forever and never, you know, implement, you know.
Correct.
Which involves the sixth duality of motivation, you know. But it's a special one. It stands alone, and it's at the midpoint, the 5 point out of 10, which I think is important because I think, you know, in our earlier years as children, we're not so caught up with manifestation. You know, we're still living like, you know, fantastical childlike lives if we're lucky. But once we become adults, we have to start being productive. And that's when the world of manifestation becomes important. And you should be aware that, don't let life roll over you and force you into a wheel of fortune where you're stuck, and you're a slave to some commercial concern. Yeah. And conversely, don't sit in your house alone thinking about, what you're going to do to support yourself. I mean, you have to put intellectual work in too, So anyway, I'm rambling.
Oh no, I ramble. This is part of what we're doing. That's the balance. You have to, by the way, bam, Maruta. So from Pamela, with what you said. We've had more people join us. J Cat Lady, Hershey. It's great to see everybody.
Hi, Hershey.
Shine Truth. What's a really interesting thing is when we have taken the time and thought things through, we move into that wheel where we are manifesting it out in the expressive way or in the physical environment. When the wheel turns, when my hand actually slips off of that wheel and it moves faster, I can then be able to move into my hermit mode and think about what has happened more readily. You can't, you have to, the most successful, by the way, I'm not an architect, anything like that. I am a good manifester. However, part of what happens is you need to make sure there is a beautiful balance and dance. One cannot override the other. There's this beauty in looking at the end of the day, the work that you've done, cleaning up after yourself, putting things back away, and going, how'd that work? Okay, what went well? What can we do better tomorrow?
Yeah.
That's a healthy balance.
That's part of what the hermit's work too, is the evaluation, Mm-hmm. You can plan, you can organize, and then in the manifestation phase of it, lead. But then after that, you're evaluating.
Again, yeah. And
then you start exactly. And then the cycle starts again. After the evaluation, do you have to change your plans?
Even within fractions of a second, that quickly, you can go back and forth between the two.
Yep.
And what that does is that avoids the scenario that you were describing, Linda, where, somebody goes in full wheel of fortune saying this is guaranteed to work. And when it doesn't work, they go, what? Yeah. I did everything right. Why didn't it work? Well, hop back over to the hermit side and figure out why it didn't work. Don't just sit there and allow it to fail and get worse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the nimbleness. That's the balance. That's being able to do both.
Universal oscillation.
Yeah.
Ooh, good one. Because that's exactly what it is, isn't it? It's, I like
push
that.
And pull. All the dualities are pushes and pulls,
Yeah. Yeah.
I had some fascinating thoughts about boundaries, but we're on the fifth duality. But
I think if you have, a callback, you should be able to mention it. I did.
Yeah.
Heck.
There's a relationship to manifestation with boundaries. But anyway, go ahead.
So say more about that.
Yes, there is. I see it.
So the step before the world of manifestation is assertiveness. If you look at it, that tree of life, if you treat it like a clock,
one?
That one. Yeah. If you treat it like a clock, you start at you are here, right? And then you move off to the left to your receptive energy side, and you go through all of your relationship evaluations and your motivations and your humility. And then you get up to the top, and then you move into the expressive side, and you begin using your insight, your decision-making skills, and your assertiveness, the type of assertiveness, which is boundaries. I've relabeled this to be bindings and boundaries, but I think I'll just put boundaries. But once you hit the assertiveness side, the next step is manifesting it in the real world.
Yeah.
And there is a related topic that I like to discuss about boundaries and bindings, which equals assertiveness. And I did that thing that Linda was suggesting, where you do a deep dive on a word, you know, and you go to the thesaurus and you look at all the similar words. So I was doing boundaries, and binding is one of the words that's related to boundary. If you use bounds, that covers both boundary and binding. So imagine this. You have a blank sheet of paper and you draw a circle, right? What's inside the circle is the binding. And then what's outside the circle is the boundary. And when you create a binding, it automatically creates a reciprocal boundary. And in order for your assertiveness and your manifestation to be successful, you should have a strong binding coupled with a strong boundary. If you have a weak boundary and a strong binding, it'll fail eventually over time. And if you conversely have a strong boundary and a weak binding, it'll fail. You need to have both for your assertiveness to be successful, I think. And, you know, it's sort of a weird way of looking at things, but I think it relates to intentional magic as well. You know, like when you do spells or rituals that have intention behind them, there's a binding, and then there's also a boundary. Like, well, I'll give you a real life example. Gerald, when we were talking after one of the shows, like 2 shows back, you said, why don't we schedule more of these duality shows and we'll just do it at the same time on Tuesday? And all 4 of us said, okay, that's good. We'll do that because we enjoy this conversation. Yeah. And we did, you know, one a week out, and we all agreed, sure, that one's fine. And then we did the next week out, and then we did the next 3rd week out. And then we were about to do the 4th. And for some reason I said, why don't we stop at that point? Let's just see how the next 3 go before we commit to even further out, you know, because so we can, you know, sort of regroup and rethink it, you know, make sure that we're on the right track. And that's sort of a leftover from my business days, you know, like I always hated like interminable meetings, you know.
Oh, God.
So what that is an example of a binding and a boundary. Gerald bound us saying, this is a lot of fun. Why don't we continue to have this discussion every Tuesday at 2 p.m.? And we all agreed. Yes, we agree to that binding. But then I set a boundary and I said, let's only do 3. Let's not do it all 10 of them right now. Let's just do 3 and have that boundary there. And I think that's a strong boundary where we have the next 3 scheduled and we're all enthusiastic for the binding, which is the conversation. And I think that it's actually going to happen. We're actually going to succeed in the next 3 sessions because we have a strong binding and we have a strong boundary. But conversely, here's another scenario. Suppose Gerald said, that was a great show. Let's do the rest of the dualities. But you know what? We're such great conversationalists. Let's just do it every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for the, you know, for the duration, you know, for whenever. We'll just leave it open ended. We're just going to do it every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. That's a weak boundary. And I think it causes the binding to fall apart. Correct. Because it just dissipates away and people start forming resentments and they feel bound, like bondage bound, rather than a boundary that they agreed to. And that's an aspect of boundaries, the 4th duality, which equals assertiveness. But it's a more primal way of describing assertiveness, you know, and those bindings and those boundaries can be intellectual, the justice side of assertiveness, and they can also be physical. Both bindings and boundaries can be physical, which is the chariot side. And then those go to your conduit of manifestation, you know, whether it's the Wheel of Fortune or the Hermit. And I think that was just a really interesting way of looking at it that I never even considered before, how if you create a binding with something, you should also put work energy in creating a strong boundary to keep it successful. And you can also approach it the other way. You can start with the boundary, a really strong boundary, but make sure that the binding is strong, because otherwise the boundary will fall apart, you know? Those are just initial thoughts I had, but that's all since the last week, since our last discussion.
That's a lot of thinking.
He's
So
been hermiting.
Yeah, I've been hermiting a lot.
yeah. So I hear bindings and it just sort of makes me grind my teeth. But if I use commitments,
I
Agreements.
like commitment.
Lawyers are all about
Agreements,
bindings
yes.
and boundaries,
Yeah.
with technical language.
yeah, yeah. If I substitute for myself, okay, so I can avoid my instant reaction to it. If I say I am committed to doing these shows for as long as they are worthwhile, for as long as we agree, like I commit to the agreement that we had. And the boundary is that I'm not booking anything else for this time, and I will be here and prepared for the discussion as best I can be. I like that, because that also applies in my boundaries with what I will permit from the people around me,
Yes.
from my commitment to my self-respect and my self-love, that I do not permit certain things. So
that's
that
assertiveness.
commitment to myself
Yeah.
Yes.
builds the boundary. Oh, I like that.
I never really considered it being two parts to assertiveness. You set up the agreement, and then you set up the boundaries of the agreement, and then that's a strong assertion. That's a strong act of assertiveness. And then it's almost like programming language, like 4 states. You've got a strong binding and a strong boundary. That works. Then you have a weak binding and a strong boundary. Doesn't work. It falls apart. You have a strong boundary and a weak binding. Doesn't work. And then you have the default, which is weak binding, weak boundary, which is like one step above just general
Chaos.
chaos.
Yeah.
Like,
All of us are like
no order. There's no order, like a state of non-order.
I
Yeah.
love the idea of it's when one has sharp boundaries, it's easy to say no to something. You have a very sharp boundary. You have a very sharp commitment to what you have your agreements.
Yes.
That idea of a sharp boundary is not mine. I read that somewhere. It was a really insightful thing for me going, gosh, because a lot of people, we talk about boundaries. Boundaries are very important. Part of that is the importance of thinking things through well enough, doing a little bit of hermiting, and then setting those boundaries in action. It's really, really good.
And that's assertiveness. And I think our natural tendency is to put all our work energy into one or the other. We put all our work energy into the boundary because that's the thing that's in front of our face. But we don't think about the binding. Or we set up something about a binding, an agreement with people, but we put no boundaries on it that are clear. And that is weak as well. And, I never thought that if you do one, you have to do, if you do one, it reciprocally happens naturally anyway, but it's not naturally a strong reciprocal. You have to put work energy into making both. If you're going to do one, be conscious and put energy into the other to make sure that it's successful. Yeah. Assertiveness and a successful manifestation.
Yeah. And I also think, if you do it right, like if you have strong binding, strong commitment to yourself, and a strong boundary, most of the time people will not, and I'm just talking about everyday interpersonal relationships here, most of the time people will feel that and not even approach you.
It's almost unconscious. It's a spiritual attitude that you have, and people will consider you to be quite an assertive person if you do your day-to-day business that way, where you have a strong binding and a strong boundary in every case, and that's usually an attribute of a successful person, I think. Or a happy person as well.
It will also be that people will come to you because if you've committed to something, you will follow through on that. It's
Yeah.
an interesting thing. I want to get caught up in the chat a little bit. We've had Pamela said earlier, I tend to think it's just all tumbling together.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Yes. Love over fear, love over doubt, love over duality has always been my belief. Hence unified perception. There is always a balance in this. Always a balance. And then we had, it's like, Pamela likes this idea too, binding and boundaries. Is that lawyer talk?
I think it started out as spiritual talk, and lawyers ripped it off and stole the idea.
Okay.
You're giving lawyers a lot of credit. Okay.
I'm like backing away from that one.
I'm not touching it either.
Yeah. And always knowing there are is our opposites to everything on this planet, universe, etc., has allowed me to not be part of any all duality. Seen as illusions. Pamela said, I've always felt I have strong boundaries, but I have not considered the bindings.
Yeah, see now was it something that you said, Timmy, that if you have strong bindings, the boundaries look after themselves? Was that you that said that? No?
No, I don't think they do. You have to put energy into making the boundary strong, as well as the binding.
I mean, a certain amount of it will be, but
yeah, but you have to really you have to keep building. You have to. There will
It's two parts. It's not just one part.
Yeah.
You're continually defining your own boundaries and bindings.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people kind of naturally sort of get that, and kind of, act that way. That's their behavior that they've learned. But this is codified, like quantified in the tarot deck. And it's explaining how our human behavior works. And it's really an elegant way of looking at it. And I'm learning all kinds of things just thinking about these dualities and what their implications are.
Yeah.
This is really fascinating. I love this idea of the world of manifestation. These duality pairs don't exist by themselves. The pairs have to exist simultaneously when our boundaries, when the fourth duality, the Chariot and the Justice, is not balanced. That means the fifth duality, the world of manifestation, gets a little wonky,
out of whack. Yeah.
And so there's this. And by the way, I think all things in moderation, including moderation, all things in duality, including duality, sometimes you do have to. And I worked in a place, this is Gerald sharing too much probably. I worked in a place where things worked very well. Very, very well. Got a new director. First thing they did was upset the apple cart.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
They had to pee on everything to make it smell like them.
Well, okay.
Imposing their will.
Yeah.
But what
Make
happened was, and I like to think I helped with it, is we were looking at, we're just making sure that we are doing things the best way for the desired outcome. And we had forgotten the desired outcome because we were good at it and we didn't need to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
What also happened was the stuff that we were using didn't grow and evolve the way the world did. We were stuck in a moment in time.
So you're still using fax machines?
Well, I'm not, but yes, there was still fax machines. And there was a decision to actually go, are we going to help lead and lean into this, or are we going to be pulled into the future? That was an interesting duality. Thank you for that, Timy. It was like,
Yeah.
And there was, by the way, there was a lot of transition management, which is different than change management. Change is, something old stops, something new begins. Transition is how do you feel about the old thing and how do you feel about the new thing? Linda's got that look on her face that scares me.
What?
You're thinking. Is that your thinking face?
She's
Yeah, that's my thinking face.
Really
Okay.
hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but this
Sorry.
is
Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
Stop manifesting. Stop being such a hermit.
Said no one ever, Linda.
Yeah, I know.
To you.
I know. Yeah, this is really interesting to me. This is a moment in time for me. This is really personal because I'm at a moment in my life where I am hermiting while planning manifestation of that Portuguese healing center, retreat center. And so what you're talking about, what we are talking about has immediate meaning for me. Immediate and applicable meaning for me. So thank you for including me in this.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, I sometimes get frustrated when people come to me for advice. They say, I've been praying for this. I've been praying for this. I've been praying for this. And I go, great. And what have you been doing about this?
I have spent hundreds of hours, literally hundreds of hours in the last year planning. I had to throw out a business plan that was already created because I discovered that the building that I was looking at a hotel that I thought could be acquired and just continue to run partly as a hotel and partly as a retreat center, and then fully convert to a retreat center in like year 2 or 3. And then I discovered it's been closed since 2020. Well, throw that out. The whole thing needs renovating now. And so now I'm in the middle of planning a whole new business plan that includes costs of renovations. Do you know how much it costs for a carpenter in north central Portugal in the last quarter of 2025 per hour? I do. And
No idea.
yeah, see, that's what I mean. And so and so that's been intellectually really challenging, and I have to say deeply satisfying, like spreadsheet after spreadsheet. But so when people say, well, I've been praying for this, my reaction is exactly the same as yours. Yeah, but what have you done? Have you planned? Have you researched? Have you looked into how this is going to work? Have you looked into what your life is going to be like instead of just wishing for a change? Because prayer is powerful, and I've been praying too.
Absolutely.
But honestly, it's not enough. It's not enough to just sit there and pray. You have to plan.
Isn't that phrase "faith without action is dead"?
Well, it's not even faith without action. It's faith without thought, faith without intellect, faith without examination, without planning, without any of that. Like
Just passive.
Yeah. You just, I want this. I want this. I want this. Well, yeah, want all you want,
Well, that's a sign of an imbalance. You're doing the receptive side, wishing for a better situation, but you're not doing anything on the expressive side to make it happen.
Yes, I like that because. Were you going to say something, Maru?
Well, I was just reminded of a very rude saying.
Please, go for it.
I'm a big fan.
Yes.
See which hand
Want
fills
in
up.
one hand, poop in the other, and see which one gets full faster.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I had in mind as well.
Yes. We have to do the work.
Yeah.
We have to do the work. And part of it is sometimes we can get overwhelmed if we're not used to manifesting or working with the Wheel of Fortune. We can get overwhelmed. It's big. Recently, a friend of mine said, you have to make the choice. What is the next right step?
Oh, I love that.
That's an AA too. What's the next right thing for you to do?
That.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a blinding flash of insight for me.
That's
love
a part
that.
of human philosophy, you know, and it comes in many forms in many cultures, but it's a truth. It's a human truth.
What happens though is we will forget that. We get caught up in the I'm busy sending thoughts and prayers instead of like, oh, I'm going to put my thoughts and prayers, tie my shoes, and go out and do something about it to help make things happen.
Yeah. But that's terrifying to a lot of people.
It is terrifying, and that's why when we're
It interferes with our boundaries.
Yeah. Our boundaries are very strong and very tight, you know, don't want to go outside of them. You know, those have become bedevilments. That's Duality 8. When your boundaries become bedevilments.
Ooh.
I can't wait for that.
Stay tuned, people. That's in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Okay.
Yeah. Pamela reminded us the next right thing is also a song from Frozen.
Frozen keeps coming up. We had Frozen 2. Oh, that was yes. That was the quote from a couple weeks ago. I thought it was Frozen 2. But
it's cold, but it's not that cold yet. Frozen 2.
Frozen 2. Yeah.
Okay.
The next right thing. I didn't know it was a song though. I have to look that one up.
I love it. Now Timmy's going to go, oh, now I need to go look that up.
Frozen soundtrack. It's on Spotify.
We who reason our way to believe in what is around us, we can only perceive 6% of the universe.
We have limited perceptions. That's true.
Yes.
And, you know, we can only perceive so much truth because other elements, deeper truths, we can't perceive them. We don't have the ability yet.
We have boundaries we can't do anything about. It's just the way life goes sometimes.
And you know, if you look at the Chariot card and the Justice card, they both have, when we were discussing it, they both have boundaries like a veil behind them that could be considered a symbol of a veil. And that's a boundary between what we can perceive, and then on the other side of the veil is what we cannot perceive.
Maru, will you say a little bit more about we have boundaries we can't do anything about?
Well, when you enter this world, you are bound by physical realities.
Our bodies are a boundary.
Just by, by physics, by actual physical reality.
Mm-hmm.
People are born with different abilities, and those are their boundaries.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Pamela said, we know there is something else there, but we just call it dark matter and dark energy.
Yeah, we just come up with a word for it until we learn better, and then we come up with a more accurate word for it. And then at some point, we won't be using words anymore, right? When we're space aliens, when we have big, bulging, throbbing heads like our brain.
Throbbing heads.
Throb. Like when you think.
With the little
like
veins
Mars attacks. Sorry, Linda.
Are you okay, Linda?
Sorry. That's hilarious. That's just hilarious.
Here, we'll do this. This section of the video is brought to you by the word autumnal. Everyone say it with me. Autumnal. Autumnal. Of, relating to, or characteristic of autumn. drop like the autumn leaves, and like, share, subscribe to our channels. Autumnal.
Very nice.
Had to get it in there.
That was relaxing.
You were all worried I was going to play something else, weren't you?
No, I knew you were going to play autumnal. I said the word just as you cut the screen.
No.
I am not going to hoist that responsibility on anyone.
You might foist it.
That could be, yes. But I don't have a joist above me. Well, I do.
Joist.
So many
As long
boundaries.
as it's not moist.
Yeah, as long as it's not moist.
Oh, no, please don't. You guys, the whole point of this was to avoid that word.
I know, that's why I said it.
Rule breaker.
How's that for a
Rebel.
sharp boundary?
Rebel.
And said so many boundaries, personal and political. I think our brains are getting smaller because we don't have to think and hold things in our brains like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
But
don't
we
think our
do
brains are
actually. We
getting
have to
smaller.
hold so much more in our brains. Like how the hell to use a cell phone?
Yeah. I don't think our brains are getting smaller. We may have different neuronal paths.
I think our intellects are getting smaller in certain parts of the
Yeah.
population.
Yeah.
That's always
Well,
been there, I think.
there's a whole big anti-intellectualism streak throughout
Yeah.
North American society for sure.
Animal instincts have become very popular. They seem to be the attributes that are desired by our leaders.
So I'm going to say one of the things that happens with the duality pairs as we move into them, these tend to require more thought and stronger execution. They are less primal, perhaps.
Less
We
instinctive.
have to less instinctive. That's the better word. Because how often, I mean, there are times when I'm thinking about what I'm doing and then I go do it. There are also times where I don't think and I do something. Those are usually the times that people are filming them and posting them on social media, going, look what this idiot did.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the duality interpretation has comments on that too. That's insight, I think.
Mm.
The devil card, where in this interpretation, the devil card represents our animal instincts. You have the devil and then the two loosely bound nooses around the two little creatures, but they're only half human and half creature. Did you ever notice that? I think what that is an illustration of is our duality between our biological animal instincts and our spiritual side.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Angie Burks has arrived, by the way. Hello, Angie. What were you going to say, Timmy?
So the tarot addresses our biology, I think. All of these dualities have also the additional layer of a biological duality, with gender, and it's accommodated for in the pairs. That's part of the illustration. There's the human element, there's the spiritual element, there's the element of balance. Those are all they're all taken into account, and the whole right-hand path, the path of free will, I think, is the path of releasing our bonds of our animal instincts. Our ability to assert ourselves, our ability to make decisions, and the insights that we, being able to recognize truth when we see it. Those are things that allow us to have free will, and free will is the opposite of animal instinct, the bondage of animal instinct. Talk about rigid boundaries. Animal instinct is a very rigid boundary.
Yeah.
I think when we also recognize the instinct, we then can work with it instead of against it.
It's better to know than not to know.
Yep.
Yes.
Working against yourself is something that you can do your whole life. I did it myself with the whole drinking problem,
Is your throat frozen? Oh no. Okay.
I was frozen.
And
the result,
scene.
and it's everybody just went into
Everybody just froze. Timmy, are you back?
Is everybody back? Everybody's back. I can see everybody.
Everybody's back. Okay.
We had a data intercept.
Well, you keep talking about the Frozen movie. It was bound to happen.
I know.
You
It's
manifested.
copyright infringement. They're arresting us all. We're all arrested.
Yeah.
Um,
Pamela says don't get her started on free will.
Let's hear it, Pamela.
No, that's for another show. It's for another show. We need Pamela's voice on with us to do that.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get her on the show.
There you go. Yes.
So free will is on the right side, and self-awareness is the left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We do have to choose our battles. Yep.
Knowing who we are and what we are, and part of that is our biology. That's
Yes.
humility.
Yeah.
Yes. Pamela did say brain shrinkage is estimated at 10 to 15%. It's on the internet, so it has to be true.
Must be.
Eh.
It could also just be all the toxins that we're consuming.
Yeah, all the microwave plastics.
I don't think we're getting dumber. I think that we have we have not a great education system, for one thing, and I think that we don't value intellectual pursuits the way we did perhaps prior to World War II. You know,
I think you may be right.
I don't think we're getting. I mean, we are dumber, but that's why we're not dumber because. Well, but you understand what I'm saying. I don't think it's
less available.
I'm sorry.
Education is less available.
Yes, it is. It's less available, and what is available is not so hot. And society tends to think of eggheads and oh my God, like you think,
Yeah, it's not in style now. But
no, not anymore.
But you're right about, we take for granted the advantages that we have. That's kind of human nature. If we all were transported 200 years back into the past, we'd be bitching about everything,
Oh my God,
The
no flushing toilets.
the conveniences that we take for granted now, intellectual and physical, we've worked for those hard over the last century, over the last millennia, centuries or whatever. But we always have challenges. There's always challenges. And I think now is a time where I think there's a lot of spiritual angst, because for me personally, as an example, I grew up believing in nothing. I was not taught anything that I felt like believing. There was Christian religion, and that was offered as a the meaning of life is this Christianity. And I never believed that, even as a little kid. It sounded not right to me. But that was never replaced with anything else that I believed in. All I believed in was, getting a job and, buying a house. It really was nothing more meaningful than that. And that is a problem. Our society needs to have a philosophy that has some sense behind it.
Balance.
Part of also
success.
I think part of what is going on is we need to normalize the taking time to think something through, to do research, then doing something. Oftentimes,
not like jackasses.
yes, it's more here, hold my beer, instead of wait a minute. Back in the day, it was like I need to go to the library and do some research on this to find out information.
Yeah.
Is that ramp high enough to go over that pond? I'm not sure. Hold my beer. I'm just going for it.
Yeah, we're just going for it. And that actually brings us to a really good point with the fifth duality. It's the world of manifestation. If we are able to balance the amount of intellectual work we are doing, it helps to inform the physical action we take.
Yeah.
they have to be beautifully balanced. Without that balance, things are more challenging. I'm a person who I'm still learning how to slow down enough to think things through before I start.
And not make things harder than they need to be.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah. And I can
forethought
tell
helps
you,
with,
I can tell you from years of failure at doing this.
Yeah, me too.
If you plan, if you take the time, even if it's like a month or 6 months or whatever, if you plan carefully, whatever you're planning to do, whether it's sewing a dress or knitting something or making something, making a presentation or whatever it is, if you take the time to plan it as best you can, the whole thing flows much more smoothly in spite of the Wheel of Fortune. And I shouldn't say in spite of, but even with the influence of the Wheel of Fortune,
Yes.
if you have done your planning, if you've done the work at the front end, the back end generally looks after itself.
Failure to plan is planning to fail.
Oh, absolutely.
You said it.
100%. I am a living witness to that.
Absolutely. Well, we are planning to do Duality 6 next Tuesday. I encourage everybody to subscribe to all of our channels. Make sure you are noticing that. Scotty Boy said, I'll hold your beer, but don't expect it back. Work smarter, not harder.
Hi, Pierre. Yeah, well,
Scotty
Scotty Boy,
said,
that's
when I
because
plan, trouble soon follows in my experience.
What are you planning?
yeah, so your planning is flawed.
Yeah. And that's an interesting thing, is if that goes with this too, that's Gerald will get on a soapbox. Part of it is if you're always doing the same thing over, you're paying attention to the wrong thing. Pay attention to something else to have a different outcome.
Yeah.
Right. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So change your plans. Scotty Boy, change your plans. Like
Yes.
make different kinds of plans.
Mm-hmm. And in those plans, I would say for creativity purposes, plan for a bit of fun and adventure and something unexpected.
Yes.
Planned spontaneity is a very healthy thing. Yes.
Because those things that the Wheel of Fortune will throw up, will throw at you. Yeah, it helps to think of that as an adventure.
Frame of mind does work. You're muted, Timmy.
The Wheel of Fortune spins. It's thrilling, like a roller coaster.
Well, when the Wheel of Fortune comes up in a reading, oftentimes I will say, keep your head and arms inside the ride at all times. Buckle your safety belt.
Don't
Take
pee your
care
pants.
of yourself.
Yeah.
Life is what happens while you're making other plans.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
Yes. Linda has another show coming up today at 5, so in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
I have a show in an hour. Linda also has a show on Wednesday.
Yes, on Wednesday, we're with Diane G. We're doing Into the Ether, and I didn't write it down. It's repeating patterns is what the theme is. Patterns that we are repeating in our lives, and how that comes about, and what it means for what we're trying to learn.
Sounds like a Wheel of Fortune discussion.
It certainly does, doesn't it?
That's what I was thinking, Maru.
Yeah, it certainly does. I don't know how that happened. It wasn't me. Also on Thursday, Deb Zachow is going to be on my channel at 2:00. And on Friday, Gerald and Diane G and I are doing a really special show that we've been planning for a long time. I fart my feelings.
Sounds
Gonna
like
have
it
to
should
see
be
that
fragrant.
That's at 8:00 because it's not for
Tonight?
no 8:00 on Friday night, 8:00
Oh.
EST, 5:00 PST.
Because I'm putting
And
that
like-
on my schedule. I gotta know.
We know how much Timy likes that flatulence.
I gotta know.
It's going to be a fartnado of fun.
Fartnado. The
We
sequel.
got
We
it.
had so much fun. We had so much fun planning this.
Aquatic gas.
Yes, and Linda and I, as well as Allie from Heart and Soul Connected, late on Saturday, the 8th, are doing the triple X version of caffeinated and unfiltered readings.
Triple X. Is
Yeah.
that wise?
Triple X.
That's some strong coffee.
That is some strong coffee.
That coffee wears black socks. It's so strong.
Yeah. That'll peel your hangnails right off.
Yeah, you don't want any hangnails. It's bad.
Maru, do you have any pop-up lives coming?
Well, they're always coming.
Do we have any that might be happening soon?
I have no actual plans. I just go with the flow.
And I appreciate that.
The Wheel of Fortune.
I'm a Wheel of Fortune kind of girl.
Just spin it.
Timy has an album that is available in the description. Timy, do you have
Bandcamp.
any other music going on or stuff you would like to share with people?
No music stuff. We do have the album available. You don't have to buy it. You can just listen to it. It's on Bandcamp. There's a link down there. Just click on it and it brings it right up and you can hit the play button. The one new thing that I'm doing that I'm really excited about is I have my YouTube channel with meditations, and I'm doing them live at a meditation AA meeting not every Saturday, but like twice a month.
Wow.
Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. in Abingdon, Maryland. We have an AA meeting where we're doing live meditations. It's a 15-minute meditation. And typically, I used to go to that meeting all the time, and it's the kind that you see on the internet, like guided meditations, where it's like, imagine you're in a pasture and your eyes are closed and the wind is blowing, which are fine, but you kind of get tired of it gets a little old, the constant affirmations or whatever. So my meditations are a little more, they don't have that guided part, but we do a breathing exercise with the little Tibetan gong. I do that. I guide that part. So it's really interesting. There was 30 people there. I did the first one last Saturday and I got a lot of good feedback.
Great.
So yeah, it's
Good.
I'll
Good
keep
for
you
you.
informed.
Yeah.
Love it.
Sounds cool.
Maruta making the rounds, taking care of links and hookups. Maruta taking care of the hookups.
Oh, I need one of those.
That's
Well, temperance is my birthday card.
Mm. Oh, I did this thing. Did you guys do this thing? I don't know if it's a tarot thing.
What?
I saw someone, because it was Samhain, sort of the beginning of a new cycle.
Yes.
Mhm.
You pull a major arcana card for the year. Have you guys ever done that?
Nope.
Nope.
I have, yes.
So I pulled a card.
And what did
What's
you
the
get?
card?
Guess. It was one that I
Wheel of
never would have figured.
Wheel of Fortune?
Nope.
Don't know.
Major or minor?
Major arcana.
Death.
It was the devil.
Nope. It was the lovers.
Oh.
Ooh.
Intimate relationships are going to come my way this year.
Hey.
Things that
You
you have to
go.
make choices about.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be careful.
Or
Make sure I have
just-
strong boundaries and strong bindings.
Yes. Yeah. Strength. The Tower.
Oh, he got the tower. Nice.
No, they're like, yeah.
That's what they guessed about your card.
Oh. Duh.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right.
It was the Lovers. I sat there and I put my intentions forth and I shuffled the cards and I put it down face down and I was like, what is this card going to be? And that was the last card that I thought that it was going to be. So that's the power of the tarot.
Mm-hmm.
How
You know?
interesting.
And remember, you have a new relationship with the Lovers. It's about intimate relationships and intimacy.
Yeah. Well, I got one with you guys. We're having an intellectual, intimate relationship.
Absolutely.
And I guess that's a sign that there's more to come this year coming up.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
That is good.
Yes. Yes, that sounds wonderful, Timmy.
Yeah.
I want to appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you for being part of this Laugh and Learn. Big thanks to Timmy, Linda, and Maru, and everyone in chat for adding your wisdom so thoughtfully. Remember, every voice turns the wheel a little further. Please like and subscribe. It's also, this is available as a podcast later. And thank you very much. Take care.